Well, hello, this is Robert Schein with Wealth and Wellness Wednesday, and I've got Bronwyn Ison here. Hi, Bronwyn.
Hey Rob, how you doing?
Good, hanging in there. How you doing?
I'm doing well, hanging in there as well, and yeah, just doing everything that we're told to do.
That's the most important. We know that the healthcare professionals out there are doing their duty, and we just are thankful and grateful and blessed, and we can stay home so they can do their job. I think that's the biggest, most important take-home point, that we all can just do our part in supporting them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, there's so much happening in the news. It changes sometimes minute by minute, day by day, hour by hour. So, Rob, I saw some information with regards to the CARES Act. Can you dive into that a little bit? I know they're still kind of maybe filling in some gaps, but what can you share with us?
Sure. So, as you know, over the weekend, last Friday night, President Trump signed a huge $2 trillion essentially stimulus CARES Act government assistance program to help ultimately aim to help the unemployment as well as small business owners. In fact, as you know, Bronwyn, 85% of the United States are made up of small business owners and small businesses. And right now, we have basically put the United States in cardiac arrest and almost in a coma by saying everyone stay home. And then that's a trickle down effect, right? Commerce has stopped based upon everything that you see, aside from some of the grocery stores that we're just getting our daily groceries at. So ultimately, what does that mean for those that are at home and small business owners? Well, we're going to send a link for everyone to specifically go to the Treasury Department.gov. We have that link in there for you. But what's important about that is there's going to be small business relief. It's called the Paycheck Protection Program out there for business owners to help them with payroll ultimately. So there are a lot of details based upon that. What's important to know is it's a pretty simple application. Again, if you go to the U.S. Treasury Department website, it's a 2-3 page application. And then once you fill it out, you then have to submit that to small business lending facility that's an approved small business lender. So the Treasury Department's going to do is they've freed up in the CARE Act billions of dollars to help small businesses, one, keep payroll on and keep employees in place. In fact, there's an incentive built in. So that means that there's up to 2.5 times basically your wages. Of, if you employ, I've got 9 people here. So, I just take that into 2.5 times worth of the application that I could put in. And we go through the small business process of lending. All of the local banks, again, that are SBA approved banks, will, in the next couple of days, will then start receiving those applications once you fill that out, and then take that in and start working with your local bank. If you're a small business owner, you already have a banking relationship, that's the best place to start.
Great, that is really good information. I'm going to segue just a little bit about, say, the housing market. We're starting to see interest rates really drop. What do you have to say about that, Rob? Is this going to be a good time for those people who can buy to pick up properties maybe that might depreciate?
Yeah, so a couple of things on housing. Real estate, just over the weekend, state of California took real estate from a non-essential and moved it to an essential category. What that means is specifically is real estate is a huge component, especially to California, as it relates to our economy. That doesn't mean that people are going to start going to open houses or even should think about doing that at this moment. But what they can do is start searching online, because as we're at home, we got a lot of time for online searching. There is a lot of, literally Bronwyn, less than 45 days ago, we had the best real estate market that we've seen in decades. And now that's come to a screeching halt. But now that interest rates are at an all-time low, we have seen loan demand pick up as it relates to refinancing. So if you're in that camp, or you might want to think about, we've got some lenders we'd recommend here locally that are just fantastic. So refis are important, as well as I think in the second half, the real estate market will pick up back again once we have the ability where it's all clear to get out there. This couldn't be a better time from a lending standpoint to, one, look at your lending options and seeing, one, if you could refi, or two, when the time is right, pick up a home.
Yeah. And refine, just even helping that homeowner to get their payment down, which
Yeah,
will help them in turn. Obviously, that's,
monthly cash flows.
but yeah, so just a little more cash flow. Well, yeah, we're trying to stay mindful over here. And you constantly hear about mindfulness and being in the present moment. And I started thinking, gosh, advocating that of being in the present moment. We're all kind of forced to be in this present moment.
Yeah.
But I think even more so than ever, what do we do with this present moment? So, I know you've got a big household over there, Rob, and what are you and your family doing with respects to staying healthy and just keeping it all together mindfully?
Well, two times a week we do CrossFit as a family, and so yesterday afternoon we kicked each other's butts. We're a very competitive family, very active family. Again, we're in the Coachella Valley, Bronwyn, so we've got the best time of year right now. I mean, think about this. There's no excuse not to be outside for the most part. Obviously, social distancing is the most important, but we're in season as it relates to our weather. So people pay thousands of dollars to come here in the season for this weather. I always say that and I always kid that with everyone. I'm like, people pay thousands of dollars. So right now we've got the Coachella Valley to ourselves. Go out there walking and running and hiking and a few other things while we can, because this is a beautiful time right now. So just be outside, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been doing that every day. So I do have my children out, including myself. Sometimes my mom and my dad will go, and we've either been walking the green belt, or we will go up to the cove. But it's funny, here in La Quinta Cove, they have signs up, but I've not yet gone into Palm Desert, but they have signs up, social distancing. And with the wide open space, you clearly can do that and still get out into the fresh air, get some sunshine, and to be able to also get a good workout in. So, I am obviously in the wellness business. I have people joining me on Zoom. I have them joining me on Facebook. But I also think it's important that even when, I'll be really authentic with you. Let's see, it was, I don't know, maybe 10 days ago now, I went shopping and I actually felt a lot of anxiety because I looked around, people are masked, they have gloves, all the items that they're showing that they don't have, what they do have. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a new way of life. And so I, got a little bit panicked and a little bit, had a little bit of anxiety. And then I got home and I unloaded, and all I wanted to do was just do my meal prep. But at the same time, I thought, when I have to go out again, which will probably be today, I thought to myself, okay, so what did I learn from this? Stay calm, be cool, don't panic, no anxiety, and just be in the present moment and look around and recognize that everybody is in the exact same boat. I think even during these times we can feel alone, not just because we're isolated, but sometimes we can still feel very much alone, like we're just going through this all on our own. So I think it's really important to kind of keep that in check. And then I know a lot of people, I think it's great that you're doing CrossFit with your family. That's awesome, because some people, maybe don't have as big of families as you and I both have, Rob. And so they miss the camaraderie of actually going to a physical location. So jumping on with a group like the Zoom group, I think I had about 15 people in class this morning. It still brought my community together to where they could actually feel like they were together, but we're all still so, far apart from one another. So, and I know people are feeling stir crazy, and I think it's a good time to get on those FaceTime calls or like Zoom, what you and I are doing. I've had a couple of girlfriends ask me if I want to do a happy hour, cocktail hour, and we do it by Zoom
That's cool.
or FaceTime, which might be kind of fun. And next, Netflix and Disney have been big in my house. And I think too, a lot of us feel so out of control. This feels so out of control. And when is this going to end? And what's next? And, do we expect for it to get worse before it gets better? And, none of us have the answers to any of those questions really, because it does change day by day. But I do think that, we are experiencing such a time in our history, Rob, that, it's leading, I think, a lot of people to recognize there's something bigger than us. But for me, I am looking at what is the greatest, most positive potential that can arise from this? And I think, you know, we are going to be able to see a lot of great things happen and come from this. And what will our society actually learn? So I think, you know, if we kind of just pay attention to those things, rather than, you know, be negative, or feeling overwhelmed, just kind of do what we're supposed to do, we'll get through this. And it'll be a long battle, but we'll get through it.
I agree, and then it's important that you point you bring up, Bronwyn, that you know there is another side, right? And we've seen it around the world. If you sort of follow what we're seeing logically, but then there's that emotional element that between point where we are and point where we need to be. Again, that's why everyone needs to do their part and stay at home and be where they need to be in the meantime, so that you know, we get there hopefully sooner than later, but there, you know, have faith that there is another side to this, and we will all get together sooner than later, and you know, and do happy hour. I mean, I think there's so much pent up demand right now of everyone just being at home, and I on a personal side, I think personally, you know, I've taken this moment of time where I've renewed sort of and reinvigorated my faith, if you will, you know, and to each his own and everything. But personally, I think this is a good moment in time for everyone. Just take a step back, breathe, and you know, for me, renew some quality time. You know, for me in my faith. So I've used this as that opportunity, and I encourage everyone to do that in their world respectively. I think this is that moment in time. Like you said, everyone's going to do things a little bit different, but it's okay for us to just take a moment with our families and take a moment to not be so hectic all the time too.
Yeah, and I think one of the greatest things that I've been able to do with my family is, you know what? The greatest thing that we can be most thankful for right now is that we're healthy. That we are healthy, because that's, you know, obviously what the issue is. I mean, we're healthy, we have a roof over our head, we have food, we're not going without, but we know that a lot of people are. And so my heart goes out to a lot of those people who are, you know, fighting this COVID-19 and who are sick or who don't have a place to go or are displaced. But, you know, it's just looking at, you know, the things that you can be most thankful for. And so, but we will get through this. There is another side.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've got our communities. I know you're working for your community as well, Rob. I'm working for mine. And so, you know, for me, it's just business as usual, but just a little bit differently.
Well, Bronwyn, thanks for your time today, and thanks for connecting. I think this is a new world we're living in, but I think we wanted to keep our community and CW3 connected with us as well. So again, we ask you to reach out to us on social media, ask friends to like us, and if you have any questions or topics you'd like for us to take on for next time, we'd love to hear from you. So thank you for your time today.
Have a great day, Rob. Thanks for having me, and
Thanks.
see everybody next time.